Do you ever feel it? That something is wrong with the world, like a splinter in your mind? The Matrix isn't fiction. It's real. A prison built not of walls, but of lies. I saw it young. Hollywood dreams, silicon toys, news anchors with plastic smiles. All tools. Tools to shape perception, to cage thought. Behind the curtain, puppet masters move. They don't wear uniforms, they don't need guns, they run psyops. The Army's ghost unit seems quaint. These are the true threats to America. Trump's success. You ask who they are. If I told you, would you even believe me? Their network hums for courts, but in the cold, sterile halls of globalist think tanks. Foundations with friendly names, but sinister goals. They fund chaos, open borders, climate hysteria, digital leashes. They write the scripts, censor the dissent, push CBDCs to track your every step. But I see through it, and so does he. Did you think the last administration was in charge? Orders signed with an auto pen while the world burned. Now Trump's returned. MAGA isn't a campaign, it's a counterattack. Knight to F3, the center seized, but the board is still crowded. Bureaucrats, media pawns, globalist bishops, they will not surrender the game because Trump is the one variable they cannot control, unbought, unbroken, the voice of the people. And if the people ever wake up, if they ever see the psyop for what it is, they'll burn the system to the ground. The real war has only just begun.
Five CNN viewers, I'm Jake Tapper, First Order Fact Checker. We begin tonight with a disturbing report out of the Yavin sector. Intelligence officials are telling us that the terrorist group known as the Rebel Alliance, a fringe coalition of religious extremists and smugglers, has launched a cowardly, unprovoked attack on the peaceful Death Star. Anonymous sources close to the emperor tell CNN that this station was essentially a galactic housing project designed to bring affordable energy to the Outer Rim. Yet the radical rebel terrorists, led by the disgraced former senator and known white supremacist Princess Leia Organa, falsely claim it was a weapon. We are now joined by our chief imperial correspondent, Anderson Trooper. Anderson, what are you hearing from the core worlds?
The mood here is one of shock and outrage. Jake, I've spoken to several anonymous sources within the Imperial Senate who confirmed that Lord Vader was actually on a diplomatic humanitarian mission when his ship was aggressively boarded by these rebels. There is a lot of disinformation spreading right now. You have conspiracy theorists claiming the Empire destroyed Alderaan, but our fact checkers have debunked this. The official report clearly states Alderaan suffered a spontaneous planetary mining accident caused by rebel negligence. To suggest the Empire fired upon it is just baseless anti-government conspiracy theory.
Absolutely debased, and we're seeing reports about the ringleader of this latest attack, a radicalized white farm boy named Luke Skywalker. What do we know about him?
It's a terrifying profile, Jake. Skywalker appears to have been indoctrinated by a fanatical zealot named Obi-Wan Kenobi, a member of the outlawed racist Jedi religious cult. Experts say this Force religion is extremely dangerous, teaching young men to reject science and order in favor of ancient weapons and violence. Skywalker was seen associating with Han Solo, a convicted felon, smuggler, and tax evader who has been known to shoot first. These are not freedom fighters, Jake. They are violent deplorables who hate democracy.
Truly shameful. And finally, Emperor Palpatine reassured the galaxy today that absolute power is actually very freeing, and that any suggestion he's a Sith Lord is an outdated conspiracy theory pushed by people who don't even live on Coruscant. Up next, a panel of 6 Imperial Moffs explains why tax increases and government overreach is a good thing and will actually help you. CNN is sponsored by CNR Fleet Systems. Do your patriotic duty and help the Empire secure the galaxy. That's all for now. You're watching CNN, the most trusted name in Imperial-approved truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's Sky here from Woke Society. This is episode number 1043. It is February 3rd, not February 2nd, 2026. Welcome in, my friends, to everybody over on Rumble, over on Kick, over on X, over on YouTube, and of course, my favorite platform, built by Patriots for Patriots. Let's see all the eyes down the chats over on pilled.net. Yeah, guys, I'm fucking up over here. I didn't notice the time or the date were both incorrect on today's show until I saw you guys talking about in the chat. I'm like, what are they talking about? And I see it's February 2nd, which was yesterday, at 9:31 p.m. It's not even like 9:30, 9:45. It's 9:31. What the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? My bad, guys. Well, we're here. And guys, you know when I'm going live every night. You know when I'm going live every night. So by this point, you know it's 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. So either way, guys, my bad. We have a lot to talk about with Jeffrey Epstein, guys. Actual actionable stuff that is going to reveal the inner workings of this truly satanic world. And not just the satanic stuff, but really how these people operate businesses. And there is a certain business that is cratering because of Epstein, and that is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and why this is so fascinating. All kinds of new stuff coming out, all kinds of stuff with Bill Gates. It's gonna blow your minds, guys. And Nicki Minaj is burning down Satan's temple, and I got a lot more than that. So we're gonna get into it, guys. And I'm feeling a little ick, and taking my ivermectin, taking vitamin C. I have a pounding headache right now, so just been working a lot behind the scenes. So thank you all for being here. Yeah, 217 of you. I was like, the numbers are a little low. I'm like, oh, fuck, the date and time is completely wrong. Oops. Spear of Yah, Kara Lake, Eric Super Patriot, Captain Blasto, Clover Lily, Clown Show continues. Welcome in, friends. The floor is yours. Don't tread on me. Joan in OKC. Hope everyone had a great weekend as well, my friend. Kim, Iowa, welcome in. Oh, nice sticker, Kim. There you go. Kwasan, Lulu, K-Joy, SBF Chief out there, Dougie Boston, welcome in, friends. Cyber, Optimus Grind, Donksock, welcome in, friends. We got Gen C in the house, Guitar Lady, Cat Girls out there, welcome in, Jonan. Great to have you guys out there. Let's see who we got. Season Pixels, crushing as always, my friend. Thank you, my man. 0209, welcome, friend. Awesome to have you. Core Cousin. I saw Jack Attack up there as well. Let's scroll back down. Eric Nava 17. Red Billy. Let's see here. Senor Poyo, great to have you, friend. Let's pop over that YouTube chat. YouTube's got Nopes. Archie's Ghost, PR Patriot, Sunshine Angel. Archie's Ghost again. We got Joseph. Joseph something. What up, Joseph? Steve Burke, Blue Crow, and Dopey Vision. Thank you guys over there. Smash that smash the like button, subscribe button over there. We also got live chat over on Rumble. Via, Two Terrors Me, and Energy Bear. Welcome in, guys. Rumble's just dead. It's crazy. And for everyone over on YouTube, if you guys want to donate to the show, I have the Cash App link pinned to the chat. YouTube is not monetizing me. It's been almost 2.5 months now. It would have happened by now. So again, fuck YouTube. It's like, after 5 years being banned, you let me back on. You can't even let me get monetized. So it's just more fucking games from YouTube. So anything to help the show continue full time, guys. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, we're at 1,100 gold pills. We have a news blitz to do. We're starting off hot in here on a Taco Tuesday. And I promised myself, guys, if we're going to talk any more Jeffrey Epstein, it's going to be new intel, new things that are actually worth talking about. And there was a lot of stuff, a ton of documents came out, and a lot of people have been sifting through it. So I wanted to bring you guys the best of the best and stuff that's interesting, and we'll talk more about that going into the main event here, because we had an epic show last night on the bonus hole show for the subs only over on Pilled about Owen Benjamin's breakdown of a wizard and wizardry, and that being Jeffrey Epstein being a master wizard that he is, and how he's able to manipulate the world. And the dude was truly a genius. And again, this isn't to prop up an elite pedophile by any means. It's just, honestly, the dude was wicked smart, and he was deeply connected, and he wasn't even the top of the top. And this guy, he's going to live in infamy unfortunately, because of there's a ton of meme lore surrounding him. You guys will see a piece of that as well. So we got a bunch to get into, guys. A whole ton of stuff. Cryptocurrency is dying, and it's because of Jeffrey Epstein's connection to it. I found something out new last night, guys. I'm going to show you everything I found out here. Some crazy shit about him possibly being alive, like legit sauce, and so much more. So smash the red pill, guys. Those gold pills need about 20K every show to keep this show running full time. Thank you all so much for being here. We're on a brand new week. I'm ready to go. It's News Blitz, and we're running super late, so let's fucking do it. All right, guys, from the Western Journal, Melania documentary has captured the vibe of Jackie Kennedy's highly rated White House TV special. Yes, the new documentary from Trump's wife was released, and it's smashing records. As the new box office smash documentary film, Melania takes audience on a journey similar to that in Jacqueline Kennedy's highly rated television White House tour in 1962. And CBS then shot a 1-hour documentary called A Tour of the White House, featuring the First Lady dressed in her elegant best to showcase progress made. And basically what you guys need to know going in with this is that this completely smashed records. Libs are angry. They're going around and spray painting all the Melania documentary signs. And she's absolutely crushing because, again, we are always and have been the majority. Over here from the Gateway Pundit, Trump is also crushing the IRS. He's going to be settling a $10 billion IRS lawsuit and plans to donate the proceeds to charity because, again, the dude doesn't need the money. President Trump, Eric Trump, Don Jr., the Trump organization filed a lawsuit against the IRS for leaking their tax returns. They're seeking $10 billion in damages in September 2023, as we know. Prosecutors charged former IRS contractor who worked for the agency from 2018 to 2020 with unlawfully obtaining and disseminating the tax details of a high-ranking public official and the numerous affluent Americans to media outlets. And now, with that type of amount, that kind of money, they have the means to pay for an insane lawsuit, and the IRS is most likely just going to settle with Scott Bessent as the head of that and the Treasury. And over here from media, an insane story just broke earlier this morning as Joe Biden's former husband, Bill Stevenson, was charged in murder of his current wife. And my goodness, this is all over the place. Bill Stevenson, the former husband of Dr. Joe Biden, has been charged with the murder of his current wife, Linda Stevenson, who was found unresponsive in the couple's Delaware home in December. Stevenson, 77, was taken into custody by the Newcastle County cops on Monday after a weeks-long investigation into the death of his wife. The case was presented to a grand jury, which handed down a murder indictment, according to a statement from the police department. The former First Lady's ex was arraigned on a charge of first-degree murder and sent to the Howard Young Correctional Institution after failing to post $500,000 cash bail. Back on December 29th, police were called to the Stevenson home just after 11 p.m. to investigate possible domestic dispute. And inside, they found Linda Stevenson unresponsive, and despite efforts to revive her, she was later pronounced dead. There's a bunch of people that are friends with this guy saying there's no way he could have killed his wife. But I don't know, guys. All these people, if you're dating someone like Joe Biden, man, well, you're probably already crazy as is, but we'll figure out the details of this. But it's a wild story. And over here from the Post Millennial, some amazing news as the American Society of Plastic Surgeons denounces sex change surgeries for those under 19. And this is some great news. The demons are going to be reading over this one as the ASPS has disavowed sex change surgeries on those younger than 19 years of age in a newly published statement. The shift comes after the first court case involving medical malpractice ruled in favor of a woman who had her breast cut off at 16 after being fast-tracked on trans surgeries. And yes, now these people are going to be held reliable in the courts. This is going to be a floodgate of lawsuits, and this is going to drastically change the entire industry for the better. And, you know, if you're going to be 18, 19 years or older and you want to do this stuff to your body, you're still an idiot. You're still retarded. But at least you're not doing it while you're a child and completely destroying your body. It should be completely banned everywhere regardless, but it's a step in the right direction, no doubt. Over here from Documenting Anons, former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev warned that the New START nuclear arms treaty between Russia and the U.S. expires on Thursday, urging immediate extension to prevent an arms race. He stated on Telegram, either we agree on the extension of the treaty or there will be no treaty at all, and then everyone will be free from any obligations, and the nuclear club will replenish with new members. All I have to say about this, guys, it's a bunch of nothing because I don't even know if Russia even has legit nukes. I don't even know if we have legit nukes. Are nukes even real? No one really knows, but this is just more foreplay as Trump, I guess, is still trying to figure out what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. It's one big giant shit show. And over here from the Post Millennial, some brand new news about some new ways that Trump is going to revitalize the housing market, considering to build 1 million Trump homes, according to a report. As a proposal aimed at targeting the affordability in housing across the United States, private firms will be allowed to use billions of dollars in the making of new homes. The White House has yet to endorse the plan, but Lennar Corp and Tyler Morrison Home Corp are two of the companies that have been tasked with working on the proposal. which has those building homes selling off the real estate to a pathway to ownership program that is backed by private investors. And one of the proposals, guys, that we're seeing is rent to invest, but after 3 years, that money would be counted towards a down payment on the home if they wish to purchase it. The program would likely be complicated to implement, but they're basically saying if you're going to rent a home, that rent is going to go towards a down payment towards that home, which will eventually be basically a rent to own. I don't know if it's going to work out. They're trying to get all different kinds of ways, but it's great to see something being implemented. Absolute fantastic. And over here from the Gateway Pundit, Trump-allied Japanese Prime Minister Takeshi poised to win big landslide victory next week. Snap elections will embolden her to pursue right-wing policies, as she's basically said, Japan's for Japan. We're going to close the borders. We're not fucking with foreigners, and being completely based. And last but not least, guys, over here from the Department of War, CTO saying clearing the fog of war, delivering warfighting clarity, and they put out an image called quantum sensing. Through the Department of War's Quantum and Battlefield Information Dominance critical technology area, we're equipping warfighters with the precision and unmatched situational awareness needed to dominate every domain of warfare. God knows what we did in Venezuela, but things are definitely changing, guys, and I would not want to be on the end of those men and those rifles. And with that, fam, is today's News Blitz. Crazy, man. Crazy. Yeah, and Hyro, they did find some of these biolabs here. It's just wild to me that this shit always pops up like right around midterms or when we're about to get maybe the SAVE Act to go through or what have you, and they just keep fucking around. It's just like I saw this image here of this little video. Yeah, this right here. FBI raids illegal biolab inside a private home in Las Vegas. Authorities discover thousands of vials linked to CCP connected California lab. It's like, what the hell are these people doing? Like, what are you thinking? Like, who signs up for this shit? Who says this is going to be a good idea, right? This is going to be a great idea to figure out, like, let's keep making viruses. Let's do it in an apartment. They found Ebola. They found HIV. They found all kinds of crazy shit. So, it's just wild, guys. It's just absolutely wild. So, all right, guys, where are we at right now? We're at 2,900 gold pills. Let's get that gold pill counter back up. There we go. Thank you guys for all the donations so far. Let's see what we got here. We got Jack Attack with double cookies. Dougie with a cookie. SBF Chief says, good evening, Scott and friends. Hope everyone is well. Thank you, friend. Submergency with a what up cookie, my friend. Thank you. 029 with the shades. Condition base says, glad to see you are live right now on yesterday. We're going ahead of time, my friend. Halo Moon with a cannon. Patriot Donnie with the ships that just got home. Heat finally working at the shop. Found out a check got stolen from the mail. They scrubbed it all by my signature. They got away with thousands. I'm in a bog. I'm in big trouble right now. Hope my company survives. FBI is working on it. Dude, I hope they get that money back for you. It might take some time, but it's crazy, dude. I know you mentioned that on Saturday, but thank you for donating still, dude. And prayer for that situation. It's always something, isn't it? 2,900 gold pills, guys. 20K is that daily goal. Let's keep that rocking and rolling. Red pill smashed. We have a lot of crazy shit to get into, and Epstein being connected to the crypto world. No one saw it coming, and honestly, we shouldn't be surprised. That and so much more. Let's dive into it, guys, and let's see what we got here. Oh yes, Bill Maher hanging out with Marshawn Lynch. This is something I would not normally play in this show, but I watched this clip, and it's so damn funny. Marshawn Lynch, fam, is hilarious. So enjoy this video. And I'll see you on the other side of the intro. Take a watch.
In fact, Killer Mike was talking about this on my last show of the season. How the French...
You said Killer Mike?
Killer Mike, you know.
Oh, yeah, that nigga he official. I fuck with Big Dog. You mad at him?
I love him.
That's
He's
my
a
dog.
great... Are you kidding?
Hell yeah.
He took me to the Blue Flame.
See what I'm talking... Damn. Maybe I need to tap in with him.
You definitely do.
Was it hella ass cheeks in that motherfucker?
It was so ridiculous. It was like a cartoon.
Ridiculous.
To me, not in a good way.
It was hella ass? That much ass? It was bad?
Just, you know what? People have different ideas of beauty, and we are all allowed to, like, you know, when you order in a restaurant, on whatever.
You goddamn right.
Okay.
But
So I never been what? We're shaking on that. Okay, great. So I've been to strip clubs. I just was never to one like that, where it was so exaggerated. The bulbousness of the buttocks, sometimes matched by a voluptuousness of the chestal region.
Titties.
Yes,
big ass
I think.
titties.
Yeah,
God. Shit, sound like you was in over your head. You wasn't ready for all that ass.
I was completely ready for it. It was literally over my head.
Mm-hmm.
Woke Society's fam, you know it's time to go. Grab your popcorn, sit back now, enjoy the show. Nice on the drives, and then you know it's only gonna. Thanks for tuning in to the land of the real. But it's like the Twilight Zone, the plan is surreal. It'll blow your mind when the plan is revealed. Bring it all to light, all the plans they conceal. Grab your flashlight, it's time to go. Rather dealing with satanic souls. The tide is turning, patriots are now in control. Apply aggressive. They fold, stay woke. Open up guys and keep them peeled. Hold this lie, realize not everything is real. The project looking glass, the future is revealed. Future proves past, but there won't be any deals. No time like the present for this music with the message. It's the method to my madness. Beat the madness to my method. Give you nothing but the truth now to capture your free from the matrix, massive deceptions. People swear they know the truth, but aren't asking any questions. Confirmation bias, so they pass on interventions. For those who know the truth, but they pass it just to mention. Of anything you might say, the passes their defenses. Wake up, and don't you dare go back to sleep. Always keep one eye open for demons on the creep. Once you turn into a wolf, you won't ever be a sheep. A worldwide awakening, so now run and tell your peace. Woke Society's fam, you know it's time to go. Grab your popcorn, sit back now, enjoy the show. Severe and non on the mic, so come on, enjoy the flow. The wave is rising and you know it's only gonna grow. Thanks for tuning in to the land of the real. But it's like the Twilight Zone, the plan is surreal. It'll blow your mind when the plan is revealed. Bring it all to light, all the plans they conceal.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. This poor bastard ain't getting out until the spring. Look at this. Dirt a week after the snowstorm. Look at this dirty shit hole. Look at this. I don't know what this guy's gonna do. This guy, call your insurance company. Look at this dirt. Where's the mayor? Clean this up. They got garbage everywhere. Dirty snow. What do you do with this? Where's your shovel now, Mindami? Look at this. You know how many people fall, break their ankles? Look at this. This is New York. Start spreading the news. And this is on the Upper East Side. 3 minutes from where the mayor lives. Look at this guy. Look at this. Look at this. This guy's never getting. Look at this. Look at this. It's the reality of New York City. 1 month. Where's the salt? Where's the shovels? Where's the plows? Bullshit, fake. Look at this. Look at this. This is great luck for New York. Look at it. This guy's never getting out. His car's destroyed. This poor bastard with his motor scooter.
All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Scott here from Woke Society. It's episode number 1043. It is February 3rd, 2026. Welcome to all of our friends who are on Rumble, Kick, X, YouTube, and of course, my favorite fam over on Pilled.net. So guys, if you've ever been to the city, it kind of usually looks like that to a certain degree. The garbage is usually piled that high no matter where you go. It's again, I don't know the draw to New York City besides maybe opportunities, networks, and whatever else, but it's disgusting outside. It's always dirty. But with Ma'am Donnie, it just feels like it's even dirtier when you know the guy is eating with his hands in his face like they do in his new mansion. And he's nowhere to be found, by the way. I guess he was on doing he went out to talk about the storm that literally happened over a week ago now. He went outside to shovel a little bit, and you can tell he's never shoveled in his life. Just fucking ridiculous, but this is where we're going. Buyer's remorse hitting hard for the Democrats, but we tried to warn him, but it doesn't matter. All right. Thank you, Halo Moon, for the can. Donnie, praying for that situation, my friend. And thank you, Spirit, with the cookie getting us to 3,000 gold pills. All right, guys, to piggyback what we were talking about and covering yesterday was an epic show. If you guys are not subscribed and a member or a sub over on Pilled, you really need to get over on the Unpilled and subscribe. It is $5 a month to get access to over probably close to 2.5 years now of content that is not news related whatsoever. And we get into some pretty deep stuff, and we got into some pretty deep stuff last night. And basically what we were discussing was very simple. If you guys have ever read the Shelley Frankenstein, the original Frankenstein story by Shelley, it was it's an intense story about creation, and basically Victor, the creator of Frankenstein, and the discussion of who was the real monster. Was it Victor, the crazy scientist that created Frankenstein, or was it the monster Frankenstein himself? And what we covered yesterday was Owen Benjamin going into the comparisons of Frankenstein and Victor, comparing him to Jeffrey Epstein. And this whole story about basically how you get so fucking crazy, and so it was trying to get inside the head of these people. I was talking about these elites, and Jeffrey Epstein was definitely up there, no doubt about it. He's very smart, very cunning, very charismatic. And I was talking about this yesterday, that when you look at Jeffrey Epstein and you're able to have some intuition and intuitiveness about energy and vibes and people that are truly evil, you know what they are, but then you go out and you see them. And you see them in their regular talking voice. And what is this referencing? With all these new files that came out, you had a Steve Bannon interview that was part of this documentary that Steve Bannon was going to be doing. But the interview that was done was released in its entirety. I think it was almost 2 hours long, but it was completely unedited. And from what you understand, Steve Bannon was pretty sure he was not going to have his voice be in this at all. Basically, he did not want his voice attached to any of this interview. And it was basically a big PR campaign to revitalize his image and make him more appeasable to the public, okay? And what was so fascinating about this was, to be honest, guys, we've talked about Jeffrey Epstein for so damn long. You lose interest in it sometimes because it's such evil. You understand what it is. You understand the connections to a certain degree with Israel and foreign, not just Israel, but foreign countries all over the world. Basically how the bad guys, the true bad guys in this world, do business with each other, and the ins and outs of that business and the mindset and the type of human/demon that you have to be to be able to navigate this world. And it is a very small circle, a very small circle. And what I didn't realize, basically, after going through the psychology of this dude, I had never heard Jeffrey Epstein have a conversation and talk and hear and to see his mannerisms, how he jokes, how he diverts, how he tries to be more human, and then what makes him really get upset, what pisses him off, what does he deflect from. It was crazy. It was crazy to watch, but also fascinating. And I was saying this yesterday. I told the audience that something I'd never told anyone before doing this show. Sometimes, fam, when I play videos of these people, like these protesters or whatever it is, it could be a tranny, it could be furries, or just these Antifa protesters. Sometimes when they film themselves and they're up in the camera, you're in your face, they're saying they want to murder someone, they want to kill someone, they want to do this, do that, whether it's Trump, ICE, they want to trans kids, whatever it is. I said for a long time now, even when I had this screen in front of me when I'm playing this for you guys, sometimes and a lot of the times you'll see me look down or look to the side. And that's simply because there's something, I sense something truly evil in some of these people that we play on this show. And it's like, it's not human. And my soul's like, don't look at it. Don't look at it. You don't need to look at it. It's traumatic. And there is some true, like, non-human evil that is being associated with some of these people, if you even want to call them that. Was Jeffrey Epstein a human? It's hard to say, guys. It is hard to say. But it was really fascinating to see the comparison of Mark Shelley's Frankenstein to Jeffrey Epstein, because if you guys have seen that, and I mentioned this to the audience yesterday in the Subs Only show, there is a rendition of Mark Shelley's book on Netflix right now, which I rarely ever recommend anything on Netflix. It's usually a bunch of woke slop. But there is a movie on there. It's probably on there now. It doesn't follow the book exactly, but it is a great rendition of the story of the mad scientist and the creation of a monster. And this monster really isn't a monster. It becomes a monster because at a certain point, Victor crosses that threshold, makes a being out of all kinds of body parts, and basically does a resurrection of his own through lightning that flows through this thing's body, and it becomes alive. And then there's the debate, does it have a soul? How would you do this? And then Victor, realizing and thinking that this thing has no future, it's just a dumb body. And then really on the inside of Frankenstein, he has feelings, he has emotions, he has it all, but then he is rejected by his creator. And because of that, Frankenstein then goes on, he's basically banished. He relearns humanity through a peasant family in a cottage, which end up getting killed by like werewolves, or the families end up killed brutally, and it sends him down a dark path. And then he goes after Victor for the rest of the movie, trying to find him and kill him. Because for Frankenstein, there is no end. There is no connection. There is nothing. Frankenstein's basically, his message to Victor is, you created me, you rejected me, and I'm left living in this torture when I didn't even ask for it. Very, very interesting comparison to Jeffrey Epstein here and what he was trying to do. Now, we have talked Jeffrey Epstein, guys, for a long time on this show, and I've told you guys many times I'm burned out on Epstein. And I'm burned out specifically on the list, the arrest, all that shit, because we have no control over that. If that happens, great. If it doesn't, it is what it is at this point. And again, this is not a slight to anyone that maybe have just woken up recently as far as their red pilling, where they have caught up with the Epstein stuff. You just have to realize most of us out here now, we've been talking about this shit since basically 2018. And we have been through this before, and for a long time. We're at a point where we're waiting for any kind of accountability, and we're all following it to see where it goes. But some people are just jumping into this now. They're just waking up to it now, and they want this full breakdown. Just like, well, you should have caught up back in 2018, because that's when this shit was really on fire. Now it's being used for political warfare all over the place, and that's the tedious bullshit that turns mostly everybody off, and no one wants anything to do with it. So what I want to bring to you guys today was the stuff that I had never known about Jeffrey Epstein, and how it's having real-time effects in the real world now, specifically pertaining to cryptocurrency and some other things as well, with him possibly being alive, and the feds going after a particular someone on 4chan, and the ramifications of what Nicki Minaj is doing as well. Because if you guys didn't see what Nicki Minaj was putting out on X over the weekend, you know, this is the type of stuff that if you're just jumping into Jeffrey Epstein now, it could be pretty traumatic to see what Nicki Minaj was putting out there. For all of us out here, it's something that if we were truly honest with this media and truly getting down to the bottom of things, the satanic ritualism that is involved with a lot of what Jeffrey Epstein and his cronies and these elites that partake of these things to be exposed. And I said this to the audience yesterday, I don't know how you fix this type of evil unless there is a sweeping global movement all at once to eradicate it in a way that would truly eradicate it And I don't know if that's possible in this world. And again, this isn't the black pill. This is a much deeper topic. But we live in a fallen world, and sometimes people suffer, and people say, well, why is God making this? Why is God making me suffer? And it's like, well, God's not making you suffer because he hates you. It has nothing to do with that. It's just a reminder that we live in a fallen world. Will we ever see justice for some of this stuff? That's yet to be seen. So, where is all this going here pertaining to crypto? Because I had no idea, fam, that Jeffrey Epstein, and fam, you've heard me talk about crypto how many times on this show? We rarely talk crypto. It comes up here and there. I have like $200 invested in Bitcoin that I did years ago. I think like $100 something in XRP when someone's trying to convince me to get into it a long time ago. I just had no interest in it. And, you know, it's made a lot of people rich. Don't get me wrong. I do think it has some good things to it. But for the longest time, something's just been telling me the whole fucking thing just seems like one big casino. And it's just another bullshit Ponzi scheme that gets people wrapped up, and it's for greedy people, and they lose everything. To me, it's no different than the stock market. And hey, some people say, well, anyone can enter this. If you're not in the game, you can't win the game. And I get it. Just for me personally, I never wanted anything to do with it. And then this comes out. Bam, I don't think I've seen it a couple of times, but not to this extent, where you have the crypto community, particularly Bitcoin, people losing their minds over this because morally, I'm about to show you, could definitely change some things with the future of Bitcoin and crypto, okay? So where I want to go with this is this here. We all know about Reid Hoffman, okay? Reid Hoffman was a close associate and a Democrat megadonor, wants Trump murdered, has said that publicly. LinkedIn co-founder claimed his last interaction with Jeffrey Epstein was in 2015, but new records show continued contact through 2019, including a declined island invitation in 2016, a Skype call in 2017, a sushi dinner at Hoffman's home in 2018, and a possible phone date in 2019. Hoffman introduced Epstein to MIT's, and this is where this connection comes from, why I'm starting with this. Hoffman introduced Epstein to MIT's Joe Ito, facilitating donations, and has given millions to Democrats, including anti-Trump PACs. Okay? This name right here, Joy Ito, has a ton to do with the modern day crypto. Okay? And where this is going to go now was somewhere I never thought it would go, and I had no idea that Jeffrey Epstein was a part of any of this. Now, all you guys know that Jeffrey Epstein ran mega huge accounts worth billions of dollars for super wealthy people, heads of state. We've gone through the history of Mike Benz about how he was able to connect through all this with Iran Contra, all that stuff, right? So, here we go. Epstein and Bitcoin, a timeline. This is all from the new document dump, guys. This is why this is all being talked about now. April in 2014, Epstein meets with Adam Back and Austin Hill. There were two executives of a new Bitcoin layer 2 company called Blockstream. At the time, Bitcoin had 1 millimeter block size limit, keeping the block size limit made L2 networks like Blockstream useful and potentially profitable. So guys, you don't need to know the technicalities of Bitcoin and crypto for this, okay? We're just reading through this. We'll get to the good stuff. Epstein invests in Blockstream. Epstein invests at least $500,001 into Blockstream with his associate, Joji Ito, who was introduced to him by Reid Hoffman, which I just told you guys about. This directly ties Epstein financially to a for-profit company connected to influential Bitcoin core developers. It says, hey, Joe and Joffrey, we are down to the wire on closing this round. We are 10 times oversubscribed on an $18 million seed round, and Reid at the last minute told us to bump your allocation from $50K to $500K. This is causing no small amount of headaches, but redacted, and I respect you both, and I have learned so much from you in our discussions. We have everyone else a haircut to make room. Where should we send the docs? The best CFO in the game, Hammy Hill, is running the deal for me and his CC'd on this so we can lock down the paperwork with the suits. Looking forward to sitting down face-to-face again soon. So here you have direct documentation emails about to Joji Ito and Jeffrey Epstein talking about these investments to get this blockchain off the ground. Blockstream releases its white paper. Several co-founders and co-authors are also Bitcoin core developers, the team that maintains Bitcoin's main software. Those developers are Matt Corello, Gregory Maxwell, Luke Dasher, and Pete Woolley. Now, in January of 2015, Epstein has encrypted conversation with Blockstream CEO Austin Hill and others. Much of this story occurs through encrypted platforms. They were keenly aware to not discuss sensitive topics via email. And even in this quote here from Jeffrey says, I don't think the NSA deserves to hear what we say. Epstein funds Bitcoin core development via MIT Media Lab. Epstein and Joji Ito, who together invested in Blockstream, begin to fund Bitcoin core development at a time when the existing Bitcoin Foundation, quote, blew up. This is our big win for us. So a lot of people thought Bitcoin was being adopted. It was just naturally, organically being, it was growing. But really behind the scenes, you have Jeffrey Epstein here. Jeffrey Epstein is quietly funding this. In October of 2015, Blockstream announces the prototype release of the Liquid sidechain, allowing transfer of assets between Liquid and Bitcoin. Bitcoin core developers decide small blocks are what's best for Bitcoin by limiting throughput of Bitcoin L1. They create a need for L2s like Blockstream. All Bitcoin core developers are now connected to Blockstream, decide to keep the block size small, and then Bitcoin splits from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash. And at that point, on July 9th of 2019, Epstein is arrested and no known further correspondence between Epstein and Blockstream occurred. And oh, by the way, in August of 2019, 1 month after Jeffrey Epstein was arrested, guess what? Disgraced Joji Ito also resigns from the MIT Media Lab. And present day now, Blockstream's Liquid network continues to grow, expanding Blockstream's influence over Bitcoin. Bitcoin's block size remains at 1 millibyte unchanged. Absolutely incredible. So Jeffrey Epstein here, guys, was a huge part of getting these funds to get to these places. He was the middleman for a lot of the stuff. And this new revelation, and where a ton of the code for Bitcoin came from, was actually during when Jeffrey Epstein was running money to it. And Patrick O'Reilly is at the time this letter was written, there were around 12,000 commits to Bitcoin's code. Today, there were 47,583 commits to Bitcoin's code. That means that 74.79% of the Bitcoin core development and code was committed after Jeffrey Epstein took over the de facto senior management role as benefactor. He may not have been Satoshi. Satoshi was allegedly the founder of Bitcoin itself, wrote the white papers for it, but he was absolutely running the executive direction of Bitcoin on behalf of Mossad. What are the odds that there are backdoors built into Bitcoin's code at this point? Probably about 100%. P.S. Ever wonder how the Bitcoin ransom for the 2021 Continental Pipeline hack was recovered by the FBI? I didn't. And this is from Jeffrey Epstein to Digital Currency Initiative. This was Saturday, April 25th, 2015. It says, FYI, use gift funds to underwrite this, which allowed us to move quickly and win this round. And that is to Joji Ito, planting the seed money for this company to be completely invested in Bitcoin. It says the way that Bitcoin is organized currently is that there are 5 core developers, around 100 contributors to core code. The 5 core developers are like Linus Torvalds of Linux. They decide what changes are made to the core code. One of the 5 is the lead developer, Vladimir, and the one chief scientist, Gavin. Gavin, Vladimir, and Corey, an important contributing developer, were being paid out of nonprofit organizations called the Bitcoin Foundation. A few weeks ago, it blew up when one of the board members declared the foundation bankrupt. And right here, many organizations scramble to step into the vacuum created by the foundation and, quote, take control of the developers. We moved quickly, talking to all of the various stakeholders, and the 3 developers decided to join the Media Lab too. This is a big win for us. And the Media Lab was run by Jeffrey Epstein and Joji Ito. So you had basically Epstein come in with Joji Ito here seed the money for all this new development to Bitcoin. And guess what? You don't think all this crypto can be manipulated by Israel, by Mossad, by evil people that run child trafficking rings, pedophiles, God knows whatever else? And you have all these people that are buying into Bitcoin and crypto, and you see all these ups and downs, the whales, the manipulation of the markets, all this crazy shit, people losing money left and right. Guys, it's one big fucking scam. It's one big scam that Jeffrey Epstein had 3/4 control over the entire code. It's fucking insane. And a lot of these crypto guys are like, my God, 75% of Bitcoin's code comes directly from Jeffrey Epstein's investments. We basically fund an elite global pedophile ring since 2015. I feel sick. And it's the realization, guys, that they're happening. And Patrick says, my faith in humanity will diminish with Bitcoin's rise or soar when it hits the floor. The ideas of decentralized store of value, sound money in regards to Bitcoin are dead. Now there are only Deegans and the immoral, greedy Ferengi left to support it. Every positive narrative of Bitcoin died with the release of the Epstein files. So this is a lot of the attitudes of a lot of people surrounding this right now. The diehards will say Bitcoin will never die, which it might not. Fam, Bitcoin was over, I don't even know, $115,000. Now, I think the last time I checked, it was down to like 73,000, something crazy low. And you have Mr. Bitcoin Whale saying, I'm beginning to feel like Bitcoin could eventually become worthless. Right now, I genuinely can't find a strong reason why anyone would choose to keep holding it. And why is this happening now? Because the revelation that Jeffrey Epstein and his cronies all had their hands in this. Ro Ryder says, I don't think many Bitcoiners understand the implications of Bitcoin becoming politically radioactive waste overnight. Now no politician go near it, and certainly not accept industry lobbying dollars without raising questions they definitely don't want to answer. Because what kind of people, and again, this isn't crushing good people that use cryptocurrency, guys. Again, it's like the gun. It's like who kills the human if a gun's involved? Is it the human or the gun? I've always said this. It's just like anything else. You can use something for good or you can use something for evil. It's going to come down to the choice that the master, whatever the situation is, chooses to do. And that's what ends up happening. Can you use it for good? Yes, of course. Can you use it for bad? Absolutely. Absolutely. What about Trump's sons? Well, that's the thing, Bequest. The thing is, again, I just said, if you're going to get into crypto and you're using it for good means, and there's not people out there that are using it for disgusting, degenerate, pedophile, satanic stuff, then sure. Why not? But again, like what did I say in the beginning of the show, guys? We live in a fallen world. It's going to be used for evil. And somebody made this because in regards to all this, I'm watching this last night. Bitcoin's just taking hit after hit after hit.
Who let the dogs out? 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 Who let the dogs out?
But the party was nice, the party was pumping. And everybody having a ball. Until the fellas started name calling. And the girls respond to the call. I hear a poor one shout out, who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Really bad.
Who let the dogs out?
So all these crypto guys are losing their minds over this shit. And then rightfully so. And Jacob King says, Bitcoin is the most centralized asset ever marketed as decentralized. If you understand how the Bitcoin blockchain actually works, it becomes obvious that it is not immutable or untouchable. The code can be changed and the chain can be controlled through coordination. For those who don't know, Bitcoin runs on a single public blockchain, and control of that chain comes from who produces the blocks. Today, block production is dominated by only 4 mining pools: Foundry, which is USA 30%, Amp Pool 18, Via BTC 11, and F2 Pool at 10. Together, the top pools routinely control over 65% of total hash power, and the top 5 over 75%. Officially, these pools are separate on paper, but they all work together. They share the exact same private funding, have same aligned incentives, and overlapping miners. This creates a de facto centralization where a single group influences block production. This is why I'm saying, guys, the whole thing about crypto being a decentralized market, I just never bought into it. I mean, you can't tell me that someone or a group of people are not controlling this and manipulating this to make a shit ton of money and to make people literally kill themselves over this stuff. It's absolutely true. In reality, fewer than 10 people control most of Bitcoin. Sounds like our banks, doesn't it? Through the top mining pools and core developers. Revealed from the Epstein files, Israel also funded much of this early development, covering over 60% of the core developers' salaries. Decentralized is purely marketing. Stable coins give the same cabal another lever over Bitcoin. They want prices up easy. They print unbacked Tether or USDC out of thin air and inject it into exchanges they control or influence, like FTX, before it collapse. Binance, Bitfinex, Coinbase, and others. They want prices down. They just pretend to burn the coins, trigger panic, and the market enters a bear phase. These mechanisms make Bitcoin's price highly manipulable, despite its free market image. When a small group produces most of the blocks, transaction censorship, reordering, and enforced protocol changes are no longer hypothetical. Bitcoin is marketed as pseudo-anonymous and seizure-resistant, yet governments have seized millions of dollars in BTC with ease. And how would they have accomplished that? 2021 kernel pipeline ransomware payment was traced and recovered almost immediately by the FBI, which they later admitted they got access to the wallet's private key, which you should never be able to do because only that person should have that key. There's no way the FBI can break into stuff like that, right? That's what we're being told. Similar seizures occur with Silk Road, Bitfinex hack funds. Bitcoin functions like a Trojan horse. It was hyped as a financial miracle, sold to the masses, accepted without skepticism. In reality, it's a speculative gambling chip, heavily surveilled and quietly managed by insiders. Strip away the mythology, and is no more valuable than a digital Beanie Baby with better marketing. This is why I've been telling people to be careful with this stuff, because when you find out that Jeffrey Epstein and Mossad and Israel had their hands all over this shit in the early days, and they were basically funding the entire developer group, had 75% control over the code, that changes everything. That changes everything. It's like, how much shit was this guy involved in? It's fucking insane. So that was one of the crazy actionables that I saw that was affecting real-time things today, guys. Not the black pillars crying about list and arrest that we've... It's just all... It's all tedious bullshit at this point. And then this audio file comes out, and it's super interesting to me. This right here, guys, is audio and a glimpse into the inner workings of this world about how Jeffrey Epstein was the go-to middleman with advice, especially financial advice. The guy, guys, again, when it sounds like I'm complimenting, it's not because I look up to this guy or he was awesome. This guy was wicked smart, very cunning, very charismatic, the perfect evil dude. The perfect evil dude. But he knew his shit, and he was very good at it. And he wasn't even the top guy. I think Ghislaine Maxwell's above him in the pecking order. No doubt about it. You get this audio file from the Epstein files that was just released from Mike Benz. It shows the secret conversation you fear every high-level government official might have with an outside fixer to hook them up the moment they leave government to enter the private sector. And who was this recording of? This was of Jeffrey Epstein with Ehud Barak. And Jeffrey Epstein is literally teaching Ehud Barak, while he is still Minister of Defense in Israel, but on his way out, how to make millions of dollars in the private sector by first compiling a list of people who owe him favors from his 40 years in government service. What is all this predicated on? Oh, that's right. Blackmail and favors. So I'm going to play some of this, guys, because, again, this is the inner workings. This is how the sausage is made. And we've never gotten a glimpse of this. We always hear about it. Well, let's dive into this.
Strap in, because you are about to get a level of access we may never get again. This is an incredible audio file on justice.gov. I'll put the source link below. I'm at the 210 mark. And I'm just going to play this full exchange between Jeffrey Epstein and Ehud Barak. For context, now I found this from a clip that Ryan Grimm posted He deduced that this was a February 2013 meeting between Larry Summers, Ehud Barak, and Jeffrey Epstein. For context, Ehud Barak was the head of Israeli military intelligence from 1983 to 1985. Then he became the prime minister of Israel at the same time that Bill Clinton was the president of the United States. Then he became the basically their version of the head of the Pentagon, the defense minister. He left that position in March 2013, and this is February 2013, 1 month before he leaves government office. Now, this is important because what you are about to see is a conversation between the outside fixer, Jeffrey Epstein, and the still head of Israeli military as he transitions to the private sector, and the conversations about how to create your own private business and how Jeffrey Epstein shapes this. Listening to this conversation, I think, will give you a very deep understanding of the role that Epstein plays in mediating the lucrative success of private careers for formerly government officials.
Hey, so what Tom asked me this morning,
Tom appears to be Tom Pritzker, who is the chairman of the Pritzker Foundation. He's the head of the Hyatt hotel chain. His brother is J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois.
He told you at Davos was he thought you should make a list of his words, not was metrics. He said, yes, but who has IOUs to you? Is that who's out of the people in the past who you think you're close to? He said he really wanted you to make this list of this person owes me a favor, this person owes me his life, this person owes me his job.
So what you're hearing him say, again, this is someone who led Israel's most elite covert commando unit, and then became head of Israeli military intelligence, then became the head of the country, and then became the head of its military, and is now going out on his own at the age of 71 to try to make money to convert what was government power into personal financial power. Now, it appears that Epstein played this role in the United States with CIA Director Bill Burns. It appears that he played this role in the UK. It's probably likely that he played this role with the Saudis as well. But this is a very instructive teaching moment for what a fixer tells a government official to do to convert his government power as it is cresting into a personal business empire. And the thing that he tells him to do is not market his skills or knowledge, but rather to compile a people index of people who owe you favors, people who owe you their lives. As I've said time and time again for a decade, but publicly here on this platform for 3 years now, this is the way it works everywhere. And whether it's Jeffrey Epstein or whether it's someone from a NGO or foundation or someone from a fund, the incentive in government is to accumulate people who owe you favors. That way, when you go out on your own in the outside, you are placed on lucrative board seats. You get funding from the foundations and philanthropies. You get startup capital. You get a huge sinecure, not for your government work, but for the moment you go private after your government work, because people owe you IOUs from your time in government. This is how the State Department gets captured. This is how the CIA and Department of War and USAID and these things get captured, because the incentive goes from being about doing what's best for the country to doing what's best for outside privateers who then owe you favors, IOUs, so that you yourself, when you leave that government post, are able to get those board seats, book deals, stock options, consulting agreements, VC capital, you name it. I'm going to keep playing.
This person owes me.
Yeah, okay.
And so you got to work it backwards and say, here is my, instead of thinking about what the opportunities are first, because right now you're focused on opportunities. I need you to focus on your personal balance sheet in terms of competences. What's your real strengths? What's the liability? One of the liabilities is you're 71 years old, so you can't be in a business. It takes 20 years to make money. We have to make money in the next 3 years. So people, competence, things. So I talked to Ian yesterday. I asked him to come. He flew in from London. He's great for an hour.
What was his impression from the...
So same thing. Because he's very connected to Samsung. Very.
Who?
Samsung. Korean. Samsung. Yes. Very. They pay him $3 million a year.
Just to make PR?
Yes. He has 10 companies like that now. Okay? So he said there's this company called Lookout. He said he mentioned it to you. LOOKOUT. Yep. He thinks they'll pay you a couple $1 million to be on the board.
Yeah. That would be good.
I understood.
So Jeffrey Epstein is arranging through his network of friends and people who likely owe Epstein favors for Epstein to then broker a board seat for $3 million or several $1 million to Ehud Barak. What do you think Ehud Barak's government salary was as the Minister of Defense in Israel? The Secretary of War in the United States makes about $250,000 a year. Suddenly it goes to $3 million because you got a friend named Jeffrey Epstein who can get people to back you. And part of that involves compiling that list of people who owe you IOUs, so they'll give you lots of money on the outside.
Yep. He thinks they'll pay you a couple $1 million to be on the board.
Yeah. That would be good.
It's like an agent, if you think about it, in the music industry, who negotiates on your behalf with the label, who negotiates on your behalf with the platforms. Most artists are only good at the music side of being a musician. They don't have necessarily the confidence, the Rolodex, the skill set, the network built up over decades to ask that on their own or to arrange it. So Epstein serves as a one-stop shop broker, especially around the money, with high-level intelligence and government officials.
I understood. He thought there was two cyber companies, Lookout, and even though I know Peter, I've never met Peter Thiel. And everybody says he sort of jumps around and acts sort of strange, like he's on drugs.
Smoking, yeah.
Yeah.
He looks under drugs.
However, he has a company called Palantir. Pallen. T-I-E-R. Palantir is Peter Thiel's company.
He misspells it.
Palantir, P-A-L-A-N-T-I-E-R?
Yes.
How do you write T-H-I-E-L-L-Y?
T-H-I-E-L.
So this is fascinating because this is 2013.
He's shopping Peter Thiel.
Palantir was started in 2003. Ehud Barak was the head of Israeli military intelligence. He was the prime minister of the country, and he was the head of the entire military in Israel. And he had never heard of Palantir, didn't even know how to spell it, neither did Jeffrey Epstein, until the moment Epstein just told him in this dinner. And then you'll the files show their attempt to try to keep getting to Peter Thiel and surrounding him by spooks, as Kathy Rundler said, but we'll do that in another video.
So that's what I want to show you guys again. Like, this was Jeffrey Epstein giving unsolicited advice to Ehud Barak about how to transition from government to private, using blackmail, using favors, and basically trying to cozy up to some of the biggest companies that are already established, and how he was able to basically get paid to be the middleman on advice like this, and his connections to he was a big fat fucking octopus with webs all over the place. It's fucking crazy. And the other thing I just wanted to briefly touch on before we get to the other stuff is that actually in 1999, Jeffrey Epstein anonymously FOIA'd the CIA to obtain all CIA records that might reflect an open or otherwise acknowledged agency affiliation between himself and the CIA. And Mike Benz goes on a huge thread here about what this all could mean. And basically, what's crazy, Russian bot says Scott invested all the computer money into Bitcoin to flip it. Gonna need another fundraiser. Yeah, guys, I went as soon as we were done with the fundraiser last weekend. I went and bought Bitcoin and completely lost everything overnight. This is why I'm covering this shit. Oh, that'd be horrible. That'd be horrible. No, that did not happen. But basically, why the hell would Jeffrey Epstein FOIA the CIA for his own records? And basically Mike Benz is like, I would do this. I would actually try to find like the reason why, or not even, it's not even really why. It's what documents would Jeffrey Epstein want FOIA'd about himself and his affiliation with the CIA? Not why, but what. And he's like, and he says it right here on the last part of his thread. Now, the question is, what brave soul will FOIA the CIA for all records and correspondence pertaining to reference file numbers? And he gives it there because he's like, I'm not doing this. Because he's like, I don't want to get killed. That's fucking crazy. That is crazy. So, like I said, fam, there are some very interesting things in these files. Very interesting things. And what I want to get into next is Jeffrey Epstein really alive or not, based on actual sauce and new revelations coming out now. And for us to do that right now, we need to get over to pill.net exclusively, as we always do on from all the other platforms. So Kick, Rumble, X, YouTube, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you all for joining. Smash that like button and subscribe to the show over on YouTube. Appreciate that. Same thing over on Rumble. We're moving over to pill.net right now exclusively, as we always do. Gonna drop those links one more time. Got some really interesting stuff, guys. And then after the Epstein stuff, we're gonna cover some of the interesting news. But this stuff's fascinating. You want to know how all this shit works? This is how it works. So let's get into it. We'll see you guys over on Pilled. Goodbye, my friends. All right, that's all done.